But if you look at Russ County's standing committees, it feels like a whole page.
It is. Yeah, well, and I think there's even more than are on there. So do you want to do one thing at a time, talk about the
Yeah.
executive committee and then talk about all the other committees? Or,
I mean, they do kind of go together, but you have to get the executive committee going.
and the executive committee was going to be a replacement for the committees. Right?
What?
That was my understanding.
That was the,
Yeah, it would replace the committee on committees.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing you could do always is start off with like the committees and have the executive committee take over in April or something too. I mean, just a thought.
Seems like it'd be nice if all of this, in a perfect world, could be effective in April.
When you
And
get,
then when you're appointing the new board to the committees, then you would have the new committees instead of moving people off of, the current people off of their committees. If it's possible to come up with a proposal and get it approved by the end of March, then you're starting fresh with a fresh new set of people.
right, and then at least you look less biased too. Like right now, I can say, well, the executive committee should be the chair because I'm the chair, or Jim with the vice chair, you know. At least if you said, okay, April starts.
Right.
Then you could say, okay.
It's all new, whoever it's going to be.
Anybody could be that, any of those positions at that point.
Well, then there's already one conflict, vice chair and chair of finance.
Right now.
Right now, there would be.
Yeah.
Just for example, so I don't know if you want
That's
to make
another
the vice chair then of that oversight committee. I
That
don't know what the thought is
Yeah,
there.
if it's the same person, then you default to,
That should be written though, like if.
yeah, it should be in writing somewhere on the,
Yeah, because otherwise somebody will say, well, it defaults to the vice chair, which makes logical sense, but then somebody will say, you know, because they're, for whatever reason, got a axe to grind or an agenda, they'll say it's supposed to be something else, or this person fills in, or accuse you of something. So it's good to be black and white. This should or shouldn't be that way. The next person doesn't have to sit here and argue about it.
yeah, so whatever county this one was, it was either Price or Poole. It consists of 5 county board members. One is the county board chairperson, and the second is the county board vice chair, and the rest of them are the county board. The other 3 members are elected by the county board. The term of the committee members begins with the organization meeting in April of the election year and lasts for 2 years.
That's kind of how we do it now, is it not?
For the committee on committees is that way.
It's the same, yeah.
But they just got different duties. I mean, the executive committee has a little different duties than the committee on committees, but I said, it doesn't matter how it's done, but like it'd have to be written in stone, so.
That might not be a bad idea too, doing like the committee and committees, the chair, vice chair, and then 3 people just elected at large too.
That's what they do, yeah.
Well,
Because
the other thing you
that
could
way
do
you
is-
could make a decision before committee meets and starts appointing people to the committees too. I don't know.
You could take the finance chair out, put the personnel chair in, and then go with 2 elected officials too.
I think they
Throw it
were
out there.
both talked about though, right? Finance person at large.
Finance and personnel were both in our first thought process.
I think so, right? Chair, vice chair,
Yeah.
finance.
yeah, chair, vice chair, finance, personnel, and at large.
It's gonna be one of those things you don't know until you know.
So my question to you guys would be, if you did that, okay, you'd have to vote in your committees right away to get your,
Because you might not know the chair of any of these committees for.
that's what I was
Oh,
gonna
Better to
say.
have 3 at large, you know, chair, vice chair will get voted on at the first
Yeah.
meeting. While you're doing the organizational meeting, 3 at large, just because you won't.
You won't know who the
It could-
chair,
Right.
It could potentially be up to a month that you might not know the chair of a certain
Yeah.
committee.
right,
That would probably make it easiest.
okay. That makes sense.
And do we want to go by geographical or just say 3 at large? 3 people.
It's by geographical now, isn't it? Committee and committees?
It is geographical.
yeah, there's sections for, there's maps for all that, yeah.
Yeah, no pressure. We probably only get one shot at this for the next 25 years.
No.
Like some of the other committees are set up, so.
Yeah, how long have we had these, some of these, and every time you go, there's another one added. I didn't even know there was two ADRC committees yet until the other day. I thought-
Yeah, there's the advisory committee and the governing board.
Yeah.
And then there's actually the nutrition committee.
Speaking of committees, I forgot about the revolving loan committee until last night. I was going through ones and I'm like, holy cow, this was way out of whack.
Yeah.
Take a look at that sometime, the members that are on there and different representatives. That might be one you want to look at, because I don't know who's got the authority over that, but.
We probably should.
All the revolving loans went away because we didn't have an economic development person, but now that it's coming back, that's when that comes into play. Am I correct? Because I talked to,
It's for economic development.
yes,
It's for funding businesses too. So that's something that should probably
back.
be looked at and come back into play.
Rod Elwinger talked to me about it. He said, I'm on it. I haven't been to a meeting for years. He said, as soon as that went away, he said all the loans were given back. So that's something that,
That'd be a good way to figure out a way to fund that and get it rolling again for economic development.
Wasn't that mining company money? The revolving loan started out as mining company money, didn't it? No?
No, that was a state grant, wasn't it? Or was that something we
Yeah.
put, or was that something us and Bruce and us and the different districts put money into?
I'd have to,
Wait, I went through it quick last night, but not what I read. It's a whole committee and it's for, to get businesses up and going. And I don't know how they secured the funding, the county did, but then it was with the intent, it was like I guess I didn't get into all the fine print, but I kind of looked at it as a zero interest grant type thing with the intent that hopefully you pay it back someday so we can keep the fund going. Kind of like the CDBG with the housing.
Oh, yeah, that was,
So I don't, we'd have to get off in the weeds and see if we secure it somehow with a lien or I don't know.
That's kind of what Northwest Regional Planning Commission does, right? They have those grants.
But I just thought it'd be a good, you could put a limit on how much you could give a business and, but yeah, I just happened to run across it in some minutes last night.
And how
forgot
was
about
that
that.
funded? How was that funded?
I don't remember. I didn't go
That's
that
right.
far.
dig into it.
I don't have my computer with me. If you pull it up under the county website,
That's right, yeah. It's got nice, even the revolving loan's got a nice little website of its own.
it's got like the joint revolving loan committee of Bruce. The revolving loan committee. Maybe there's two different ones.
Anyway,
it looked like some of the banks are represented on there, but not all of them now. Looks like it's outdated.
So are we gonna do 3 at large from the body or geographically? Or-
I think you could go from the body, but I mean, I'm not like biased towards any way.
Well, I guess the big thing is what responsibilities are we going to give this committee? Because the way it was represented by one of the attorneys, I think it was Andy, part of the mindset, if I remember correctly, and I didn't take notes, was so that if there had to be a termination, it didn't muddy the board. It went to the executive committee. So then in that case, do we want to have a personnel chair on there? That's the only reason I'm
But
bringing
again,
that up.
you're going back to, you might not know who the personnel chair is for a while.
Yeah.
I
So,
think if you went at large, you could say, the board decided these are the 3 best people specific, because you're gonna have, this is what this committee does. And then the board as a whole can say, this is the person I want on this committee.
so basically it's everything that Committee on Committees does now, plus then overseeing the administrative coordinator, plus, we talked about
Talked about having,
termination, but we should look at the list of what they do in other counties too, right?
Yeah, so this,
And I think they were hinting at, then the board wouldn't have the power to appoint and unappoint department heads, if I understood that one conversation correctly. The committee and committee, or the executive committee would.
You remember that from the video?
And I don't know if it was the last one. Anybody remember that, or am I reading into it? I thought that's, I guess we probably didn't get that far into it. So maybe it wasn't the thought process that it would be department heads yet also, but that seems to where we've struggled the most in the last couple of years, is when it comes to unappointed department heads.
But it would kind of preserve the appeal process, right?
Right.
Help.
You could still, you could support.
That's your map. Now,
My personal preference is that large from the body as opposed
So
to
too.
geographic, but
I'm good with that.
It'd be the simplest and get it up running the quickest.
thank you for pulling that up.
You're welcome. I just wanted you to-
Be dismissive.
no, I just wanted you to.
Is that by population or districts, or how is it set
It
up?
looks like by more so population. Centers, the city is, because it's more populated, you know, it probably brings those 4, 6 into it and then, but it doesn't.
Well, do we want to make copies of those and then all of us go through them like we did at the beginning with the job description and come back with what we, at the next meeting? What we think the scope should,
Yeah, and I only have, I only printed 2 of them off of all the other ones. I would think, he wasn't sure how we were gonna go, so I know, so maybe in the next, maybe we'll get a hold of Andy. And they must have, I'm sure he's got a half a dozen of them, of mission statements for executive committees, I'm guessing. And that's kind of what these are, is they're just additional information, but they're kind of a mission statement. I'm sure that the Counties Association has samples that we can look at. But then along with that, then we need to have their committee structure, because obviously, you know, having the executive committee is going to alter the committee structure. Yeah, I mean, that was part of what we wanted to do too, was to consolidate and maybe save some money by having less.
But then again, that was part of the reason why we wanted like a finance chair and a personnel chair and all that on there too.
Yeah,
So-
that's right.
And again,
Yeah, let's kind of, yeah,
now I'm talking in a big circle, sorry.
because like it does say, whatever, let's see, this is, once again, I'm not sure which county it is, but oversee all insurance and bond coverage within the county government, excluding health insurance and workers' compensation, approve or reject any or all vouchers submitted to the committee for approval, review the annual budget prior to presentation of the county board for approval, monitor reports provided by the county administrator regarding monthly budget compliance, acts as committee of jurisdiction for the following offices: county administrator, county clerk, county treasurer, register of deeds, surveyor, review and recommend budgets for the following areas: contingency fund, county board, executive finance, access responsible committee for investments of county monies pursuant to the statutes, transfer contingent fund money not to exceed 10% of an authorized department budget pursuant to Wisconsin stats. That's probably assigned fund balances required by GASB, review and audit financial reports, review prior to county board action and resolution related to the overall financial activities of Price County. So this is Price County.
Which one was that? In Price County, you said? I don't know, sounds like it's got the finance committee right in the,
that's part of the executive committee.
yeah.
And it just says this is a 5-member board that says shall consist of 5. One is the county board chair, the other is the county board vice chair, of which the county board chairperson will be the committee chairperson, and the county board vice chair will be the committee vice chair. The other 3 members are elected by the county board. That's the one that's kind of must be just that large too. They're just elected by the county board. So it doesn't necessarily have the, you know,
Where's the county board chair?
Because I don't know how else you would do it, but that committee would be up and running quicker if you were to use certain positions on certain committees without having that lapse from your first county board meeting to the first time the executive committee could meet. I mean, I guess otherwise it would just be a 2-3 week period where the executive committee wouldn't have full body if you waited till after all the committees met and.
Well, doesn't the committee on committees assign people
Committees.
to the committees?
But there's no one's elected till they have their first meeting.
No, I know, but if this is going to assume what the committee of committees does,
Yeah,
this has to be in place to
Right.
put people on the
Yeah.
committees. That would be one of the
Good point.
jobs is
good point.
to
So if you
appoint
got
the
5
committees.
people on that committee, then you could make sure that one of them goes to finance at least, and one of them goes to personnel or something.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess,
and that's probably the way it would work anyway, right?
It would make the most sense to have someone at least represented from those committees on your executive committee somehow when you set up your
You can have a
committee
7.
structure.
You can, as long as it's odd.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, if we make jumbo committees, we might want to change the size of the committees too.
So are we talking 5 members on
Well,
this executive?
I mean, the one only has 3 members, and then one has 5, and just, but.
You could really change it up and have a vice chair and a second vice chair, and then you have your chair, your vice chair, and your second vice chair, and then you got all 3 members for your executive committee, and you're done.
Well, that was one of the ones you
Yeah,
spread
I
off.
mean, this was Washera County, I think it was. Washera County. Yeah, that's all it has is 3 members. Chair, vice chair, and second vice chair, whose duty shall be to serve as controlling committee for the administrator, child support corporation council, county clerk, clerk of circuit court, treasurer, register of deeds, family council, court commissioner, district surveyor, finance, and their departments. And that just has 3 members. Like I said, it just has to be odd numbers, but
I feel,
I think 3's.
yeah, I feel like 3's light, where you could have just 3 buddies get together and control the board. 5's enough. 7 gets to be where you get, like when you get a 19-member board, sometimes you can't agree on anything. But I like 5.
Yeah,
That's
I
my
think
personal
Me
opinion.
too. 3 seems a little light, and it might be a little overwhelming for just 3 people.
Well, and then the worst part about it is you have a quorum, you only need 2 to show up. So a big decision could get dumped on 2 people
That's
that may
also-
not want that big decision either, without, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so chair, vice chair, 3 at large from the body, not necessarily from the districts. And then ensure when you're placing people on committees that finance and personnel, and did we talk about property too? No, finance and personnel are represented, like someone from the executive committee is also at least on finance and personnel.
Tourism and economic development. I just feel like that's an important one.
I mean, yeah, they're all equally important, that's for sure. I mean, they're all.
All my committees are the important ones.
But, I mean, if you're gonna go down the
You put me on
road,
animal control, and that'll be the most important committee. Because you get passionate about wherever you're on, you get in the weeds, so.
if you're gonna go down the road, I guess, of representing 2 committees, well then, why not pick a third? To your point. What are the 3 most important committees we'd like to see represented on the executive committee?
So when we do the 3 at large, maybe put something in there that says, when the executive committee appoints the committees, make sure you got one person from the executive committee on finance, 1 person from the executive committee on, although finance will be automatic with the chair anyways. Because the board chair, at least where it is now, is automatically on finance.
But the vice chair is Chair and vice chair on finance? Or just chair?
Chair. No.
'Cause we've done some weird things lately. Chair and vice chair on this one.
Chair.
Just chair on finance? Okay.
How about ethics? Someone from the executive committee should be the ethics person, no?
Well,
Chair always is.
maybe not.
Okay. Well, that's true.
So my thinking is,
There's a problem with the
what if there's a problem with the executive committee and they got all this power and
Yeah,
you need
okay.
someone to go to the ethics committee?
Then it
I'm
should
just
be
thinking of the
somebody not-
balance of power.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
It seems like sometimes one person wants to control everything, I'm not gonna let this happen, I'm gonna, and then there's not really these checks and balances.
Okay.
And to your point, maybe we just leave it at 2. Because then person, just because they get on the executive committee doesn't automatically mean they think that they're getting appointed to
Another
one
one
of 3 committees that are deemed powerful in the eyes of the executive committee to represent on there. So then it still leaves the committee on the committees, the lead, or executive, or that committee, the leeway to. Problem is, you're appointing, here's the other side of that. You're appointing people that were elected at large to the executive committee who are automatically guaranteed a spot on finance and or personnel, and it's gonna be picked by that.
No, just one of the
That-
5.
Well, if you
And
do
really-
personnel and finance, it'd be 2 out of the 3, out of the,
Finance,
oh, 1 out of the, it'd be 2 out of the 5.
finance right now automatically is one person on
Yeah.
the executive committee. So that's already taken care of,
I agree.
or you say the chair's not automatically on it, instead somebody from the executive committee.
Oh,
Yes.
you mean through the chair? Okay.
Yeah, so right now,
Okay.
structure is, you're talking personnel's the only other one that you'd automatically get on another one.
And,
If we do 2, and yes, there's property or something else we put in there.
and it seemed, isn't it normally someone from committee of committees also happens to be on personnel? I mean, you're on both. Or you're not, well, you are now, because you're the vice chair, but
That was because of.
But I wasn't on committee and committees to start, and then I was on personnel.
who was,
Vice chair was on committee.
John was before.
John.
John Caleb,
Was
but
on-
he wasn't on
he
personnel.
wasn't on
Was he
personnel,
on personnel?
or was he?
Yeah, he was.
So,
Yeah, but that wasn't an automatic, that was a,
no, but just probably historically,
yeah, if you.
somebody from committee of committees is probably also.
Back on personnel too.
Yeah.
I'm not on personnel. We got the vice chair.
Yeah, RESAC was, right? That's why
Yeah.
District 3 is, because it just carried over. So, okay, so is that what we're recommending? Chair, vice chair, 3 at large from the body?
If you want to leave the 3 open, here's another idea for you. I can keep coming up with this crap all night.
Cut off after 2
You
ideas.
you could make the vice chair automatically a member of personnel. And then you got your chair automatically a member of finance, your vice chair automatically a member of personnel, and then you just got your 3 left open and you can pick how you want. It's just an
He
idea.
becomes the vice chair and all of a sudden he wants to put the vice chair on every committee.
No, I don't care if I'm ever
Go on
vice chair, to be
personnel.
honest with you, so.
I think.
That's not, yeah.
I'm just thinking out loud because this is your 25-year.
That's actually a good idea. 'Cause then you're covering half of it.
I didn't say it was a good one. I just said it was an idea.
It's one of your better ones.
You know, it was by mistake. I just got
Time's a
stuff running
charm.
around.
I thought he was gonna strike out there, but. He
You
bunted.
don't like, you're not gonna hurt my feelings if you shoot it down.
All right, so. Vice chair on personnel.
Then I guess one way to look at it too is when the executive committee meets, no one can ever say the committee is loaded one way or the other with people from committees that have already heard some of this stuff. You might have 3 people that are sitting there that are not on these other committees that hear some of this stuff 2, 3, 4 times before it gets there.
Well, that's not gonna happen anymore once we clean up this other thing.
Hopefully not, but yeah, I'm with you.
All right, and then Andy, Connie's gonna ask Andy for
Examples.
mission statement for the executive
Committee
committee.
structure.
Committee structures, yeah. Because if you look at the finance committee, Russ County's finance committee mission statement, it reads a lot like the executive committee's, mission statement does, oversee, finance committee for Russ County is oversee all insurance and bond coverage, assuming health and workers' compensation. I mean, that was a wording that was right in one of them. Approve and reject all vouchers, that was in there. Review the annual budget prior to presentation, monitor reports. I mean, so a lot of what our finance committee does is rolled into this executive committee duties, So I think the executive committee takes some of personnel's duties and some of finance committee's duties, basically, or at least has greater oversight over them, is kind of what I get.
So now the question comes, how much do you want to give the executive committee? Because maybe the way you're talking, you could put those two committees together.
There's our.
If the executive committee is going to have the
Then you
final
eliminate a
say.
committee for the new committee. That's a start.
Well, if the executive committee is going to have the final say on, say, the budget procedure, maybe it gets forwarded from finance to the executive committee before it comes to the board. Maybe personnel, I don't know. Am I adding another step here that doesn't need to be there? I don't know. Some of this stuff does it only need to go as far as the executive committee and not come to the board? I guess that would be a question for an attorney. What can be done and what can't be. If we're looking to streamline it, I just don't know how much it can be streamlined.
And what is, like on all these other committees, what is statutorily, which ones are statutorily required? But even still, like I think you could still combine them, like land and water conservation, there's a statutory requirement for that committee, but that doesn't mean that it can't be coupled with forestry or land information and zoning. And so would it be helpful to maybe have a survey of the Board of Supervisors and also the department directors to see what committees, how they think committees should be consolidated based on the ones that they're on or not, or to like how to make committee meetings more efficient? Like, what do we do? Like, I'm just going to use you as an example.
100%.
I know it makes him nuts about the out-of-county travel thing. Like, if we approve a budget for a department director, we really need to micromanage every time he drives outside of he or she.
Just give them a budget line.
Yeah, you have.
If it's in the budget for.
Right, you have $1,000 to educate yourself and train and do what you need to do. And if you go over that, then you got a problem. But within that, whatever it is, $1,000, you can go sit at whatever meeting because you don't know in advance or whatever. Like, why do we need to micromanage?
Has anybody actually told the sheriff, it's like, no, you can't send your deputy to that training?
Yeah, I doubt it. I don't think in forestry even.
Yeah, I mean,
Has anyone ever said no to any of them?
Trainings.
Yeah, Jim tells me no because I won't be the cook.
I have told her no in meetings that I can't, she has to stay home or I won't be able to leave.
but you understand, to me, it's just, that's a waste of precious meeting time. I mean, just using the sheriff as one example, because I'm on that committee and sheriff knows what his employees need. I don't know what his employees need for training. I mean, he has a line item, the full county board, approved his training budget line item. And exactly, if come next September, he's turning in a slip saying I'm way over on my training budget, then he needs to get talked to, but that's just not, whatever. It's not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's just not,
And part of this was rebuilding trust, right? Like we have, that was at the beginning what we talked about. One of the things that was broken is this, trust, Well, if we micromanage every little thing, that undermines trust versus.
And that's
And then
that's an easy give too, because I mean, who's not for more, the right training? I mean,
Correct.
Absolutely. It's value added to your employees to get them the right training, so.
It'd be real easy for a committee to say, hey, can you give us what you got scheduled for training this year, just so we know? And then, is it within your budget? Done. Done for the year.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind if this, in the department head's report, it's like so-and-so's going to this training,
Right,
so-and-so's
yeah.
going to that training. But to physically, take the time to make a motion to approve it.
It must be.
I just.
Actually, do you remember, is that in the finance procedure?
Yep, you guys could change that tomorrow. It's just a policy you have
Is
set.
it under chapter 10?
No. Shoot, it's not.
I'm not making an amendment just for that. Sorry, it'll have to be on next month's.
Addendum.
So part of
Does it
that,
make sense to you?
Addendums.
I mean, I don't-
100%.
Absolutely. That's like one of the best things I've heard.
So the only thing that I would say from an administrative standpoint with out of county travel is that I would hope the expectation of the board is that that authority is still, or that permission is still going through the department head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So the department head knows who's got a county vehicle, who's out of county, all of that kind of stuff. But yeah, taking it out of the committee's to-do list.
It's never made sense to me.
Right. And like you said, if budgets are overspent, that's a different conversation.
It is,
Yeah.
but I don't see that happening, but if it does, then you'd have that conversation then, or whatever, but.
We have those budget forms. I mean, we have to tell them
Yeah.
there's a problem.
I don't remember. We had a issue in the last year, didn't we, on one of them? I think it was just because it didn't get filled out.
There have been a couple minor things that came up with that, so then retroactive approval was needed. But again, to like Kurt and Kathy's points,
To be
are we
honest,
really gonna say no?
to be honest, I've had Jared call me and say, hey, we didn't know about this training till whatever, or we don't have, it won't be on the next meeting. And I approve it because, just as the chair of the committee, knowing that the committee will approve it. I mean, the chair should never approve something he thinks maybe controversial, could be voted either way. But I've always felt 100% confident that it was just gonna pass. So sometimes we are just asking for official approval.
So little things like that. So if you were to combine committees together to lessen the amount of meetings, you could shorten the time that the meetings take. That not necessary stuff out of the meeting is kind of what I'm thinking, Just my thought. I was dumbfounded when I first started here that we had to approve to go to training, because if it's in your budget, it's already been approved. That's how I look at it, you know what I mean? But that's just one thing. There's probably several more if you thought and dug into it.
Well, so that's why it seems like, I don't know, like a survey might be helpful if everybody gives their perspective on what is not efficient use of committee time, including the department heads. I mean, part of it is, I think, the fact that you have to go hear the same thing or talk about the same thing multiple times. Some of these things, is there a way to streamline? Now, if you combine committees, then you're
I don't
only asking
mind,
one time.
as long as we're talking about it, I'm gonna be totally honest. I don't mind hearing things about committees more than once, okay? Where I get irritated is when I hear a discipline thing more than numerous times in a row. And what's frustrating, I shouldn't say irritated. I feel bad because I've heard it 4 times and I know it inside and out. And then when it comes to the board doesn't know everything. And I can't just stand up and go, hey, there's way more to this than what we can tell you here in this 3 minutes, because it's been going on for months. And I don't know how to get around that, because I think if we could get around that issue there, it probably would have saved the county some money from a legal standpoint in the last year or two.
But if the department heads and the administrative coordinator have more authority to take care of these matters without them coming to the board, right? Isn't that part of the idea behind streamlining that?
That can be. But then on the other side of it, my mind's went on that a few times, is you can give that to who's ever in that position, but then it makes them at times a target of the public, where maybe that, my thought process has been, should stay on elected officials.
Well, look at it this way. How much does the county board know what's going on? The public doesn't know. So
Right.
they don't know what's going on.
They know because they
with
read the
anything.
last Facebook post, so they know everything.
Yeah.
You found that out since you've been on here, haven't you?
I like when it's always about like a closed session or something where you can't even correct anybody. You know, if somebody asks you, you're like, you
There's-
talk about it, so then they come, they just go with the.
There's so much we talk about in between, you know, in a meeting, but that gets said amongst that the public misses. I've had people ask me about the jail and the highway that I know have been kind of following it. And they have a total different version in their mind of what's going on with it than what really is.
Yes.
Yeah. And then when I explain to them, they're like, well, how did I miss that? And I'm like, well, sometimes you have to sit in a meeting and read people's faces also, besides what they say.
Yeah, right. But they don't say, yeah.
And I said, that's impossible for, you can expect the public to be able
When I try to explain some things, by the time I'm done, everybody's like, well, I don't know where you're at now because you argued both sides. I'm like, well, I'm telling you both sides of the argument.
So I can show you that.
No, I voted, but
Yeah.
there is,
You can
there's,
come up with your own-
generally, there's a valid side to each argument,
Yeah.
a lot of times.
How many times do we sit there? I don't know how many times unless I sit there and I go between yes or no. Oh,
You can always default to no. If I'm not sure. At least if it comes to spending money. If you're not sure, just go with no.
I mean, I abstained one time at the last county board meeting and you guys all looked at me like I was crazy just because I didn't want to go back into open session. But I mean,
Yeah.
Okay,
So for justice, youth, and extension.
He's
it
cut
seems
off.
like a prime one for splitting and absorbing, and I mean, do they even,
so that absorbed
yep,
justice not that long ago.
right?
That was.
And that was under what?
Extension. It was extension. We never had anything for like, third floor.
Let's just do it like that. First floor, one committee. Second floor, another committee. Third floor, another committee. Then we have 3 committees.
I like that already, right?
Yeah.
So we never got a report.
Nobody's split between
East wing.
floors, are they? Is there any departments
East
split?
wing, west wing.
We never had them, they were never down here. And then Andy put it together and that's what he had.
Is justice youth something that could be combined with emergency services type of thing?
Well, justice seems to be its own thing.
I have to,
That like needs its own kind of expertise, right? And then, I mean, youth and extension maybe can go, but like Trails End comes up, that's just an example, right? Trails End, it seems like has to go to property, it has to go to justice, youth, and extension. It's like,
Yes.
like,
I would say it could go to joint tourism, but joint
Right.
tourism is a joint committee. And, you know, Trails Inn isn't a jointly owned,
so the,
I don't know.
probably be under
Trails.
property, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not efficient use of, it's not good decision-making, and it's not efficient use of staff time either.
So the fair, Trails End, and Trails End, and they all have to come to property.
Yeah, so
So
why?
it is very redundant.
Yeah.
Where are they going to justice? I mean, it's kind of what we're saying.
It says on the website here, it says that committee oversees events at the fairgrounds. They oversee events at the fairgrounds and are responsible for the supervision of Trails End Camp.
Right, so property
That doesn't-
maintains the property. Justice Youth takes care of the agreements.
Like programming?
Like if a wedding wants to come in there, it's, they approve that. So it's,
But that could be under property.
Yeah, so I mean, why couldn't this Justice Youth and Extension, I mean, to me, it looks like it could be, I mean, the circuit court.
The circuit court should be separate.
Yeah, but that could go like emergency services,
Yeah.
you know, I mean,
yes.
it could go to emergency services and then the Trails End and the fairgrounds could go back to property or whatever, or something. Well, it just seems like a strange combination anyway, to me.
I think it's something that got combined and then, because I think justice got added to it after I got on the board.
I think it's because of them,
remember.
some of them, the Justice, Youth, and Extension Committee provides oversight for the following departments: Extension, Rusk County, Circuit Court, Clerk of Circuit Court, Drug Court, District Attorney, and Rusk Restorative Youth Program. All that stuff seems like it would be
Mouthful.
court-related, or, not to throw in Trails End and the fairgrounds,
It
just,
should be. They should be, what you said, to property.
property or something, or whatever,
Right.
yeah.
Well, so then do we just have a justice committee or court committee, or
Emergency.
is that really part of that's not really part of emergency services.
Not necessarily, but
It's like a
the
justice.
Trails End Camp and fairgrounds isn't part of.
Right. So, but if we pull youth and extension out,
Yeah, that's what, I mean, I think it might help if we can get some
Justice
other
is
County
somewhat,
structure.
county structures, just for instances, but, which is, that's why we didn't.
To be similar sized counties, so if at all possible.
Well, yeah, not Washera or Sauk or something, where the big counties, you're right.
Right, because I think,
Price or Polk, they're still bigger than us, but they're more northern anyway than, southern high
would
populated.
some of these things, would some of these be easier just for long-term goal here? If some department heads oversaw more? And then there was like a manager or something underneath there? I mean, as a long-term thing, would it be easier then to take more than one department to a committee instead of having to have, you see where I'm going? Like right now, technically we have one department head, for example, in land and water and zoning.
right?
But the zoning administrator goes, I believe, to the zoning meetings, and Nick goes to the other, and
It comes
that
to,
one's always been kind of a little weird to me, but whatever. I really don't understand why, you're saying there was something statutorily, why they had to be split?
No, I've said
Did I miss that?
statutorily, you have to have a land and water conservation
maybe,
committee.
you could
But
combine.
you could combine that with land information and zoning and forestry for that matter.
yeah, I don't know.
Could you combine all three?
You could have a land use and parks and forestry committee. The only thing is that zoning has a lot of public hearings, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we had like 5 in the last.
Yeah, I remember Heather saying that you guys were bogged down.
Yeah.
That could hypothetically make that meeting fairly long.
Or pull zoning out separate.
Or
Well, it is
have
now.
public hearings at the very end of the meeting, and so
Everyone
Yeah.
else is excused.
everybody
Yeah.
else could be
Yeah.
excused.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
Well, stupid things have to be posted, and it's so far ahead, and you have to have a time. and-
2
You
postings.
can't, I can never understand why you can't just say from 2 to 5, we're gonna do a public hearing. You might get called first, you might get called last, but I guess you gotta have to have a more definite time for some reason. But
I don't know how that statutorily reads.
Or do they have special meetings for public hearings anymore, or do they just want to?
discrepancies over land.
At the same, always the same, at the same zoning meeting, you just have the one meeting, but there's always, generally always there's at least one scheduled public hearing if somebody wants a conditional use permit to
I mean, you add
put a
it,
campground in or something.
you add it and you just have a longer meeting for your combined committee. Otherwise, you're showing up for multiple meetings.
Stop at a certain time to have that public hearing.
Or you have the public hearings first, you know, have them earlier, have them first and have them done with, and then start the, like the regular meeting after the public hearings are over. I mean, you could adjust the times to make it more accommodating. And I don't know how I'd have to go, I don't schedule the hearings, but like here, they always have them on a set, you know, like every 20 minutes or whatever, so and a public hearing might only literally take 10 minutes, and then you're standing there twiddling your thumbs for 10 minutes waiting, because you can't start the next one until the published time. So I said,
Yeah, why can't you do it?
I don't know,
like you said?
you might be able to, I guess I don't know what the
I
statute,
mean, that's how you do it in court, right?
yeah. I don't-
Like whoever's on the docket for the day, and then you're third on the docket. It could be 45 minutes or 10.
Let me ask.
Yeah, to that point, why do we have to be any different, really?
Something you want me to.
I watch TV.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I thought maybe it was something we needed to know.
But either way, but that, somehow that could be incorporated in either to the very beginning of the meeting or the very end of the meeting. And then, and if,
Probably beginning, because then you could actually say the scheduled time is
Yeah,
3:15 to start.
correct.
At the end of the meeting,
right.
depending on how, if Jim's there or not, that can make an hour difference.
You don't, I mean, there's not very much, I mean, public comment. You obviously have, the last time there was one person spoke in favor and then one person spoke against, and then, but that's about it, I mean, you got like two people speaking. So it's not like they take an hour a piece to get through them, And then generally, it's like anything else, we've generally not, I guess one time we didn't award one, but otherwise they're pretty much, I mean, if they meet this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule, and yeah, you get your conditional use,
Well, in all honesty too, I mean, probably some of us as heirs fall into that habit of, well, it's always been done this way,
Yeah.
so we can't change it. Where really we probably could. I don't want to rock the boat.
Sometimes
Sometimes rocking the boat's fun.
sometimes it gets wavy.
I think it's better off sometimes to just pull the drain plug and see how far you make it across the lake.
Well,
So like the ADRC Advisory Committee, can we roll that into Health and Human Services?
I think that has to be standalone, I believe.
And I still don't, I was termed out of the advisory committee, so I was on it for 6 years. And now I'm the chair of the governing board, and I still don't get why they have to be separate.
I think it's in statute. Kathy would know, both hers.
Yeah, actually she doesn't, because I asked.
Oh.
Yeah, and the nutrition committee is a separate one too, but because those are so repetitive, but it couldn't still be part of Health and Human Services where it's like an agenda item on Health and Human Services?
So I
Because it
believe-
has citizens.
And I think we would probably want to talk to Steve or Andrew or whoever is advising you, but I believe that in the ordinances, it's a subcommittee, an advisory committee of the HHS board. So
Yeah,
it could be as simple as amending that ordinance.
it doesn't say.
Yeah, I'm afraid we start getting the ordinances on different things here that we're talking about. We're gonna find little roadblocks that are gonna have to be fixed one by one. Not saying it can't be done, as long as there's no state statute against
Right.
it, but.
well, and I guess that would be a good thing to know, like what are we required by state statute to have, and then what
That's
is.
probably, yeah, that probably is something we need.
Yeah, and I think that
That's part of what you're.
Kelly will get that from,
Right.
Andy or.
yeah.
From our committee standpoint, what statutorily were we required to have?
But even if you're required to have it, it doesn't mean it can't be combined. with
Right,
something
combined
else, you
with
know.
other things.
And I mean, like, I've not sat through a forestry meeting. Are they lengthy meetings normally or no?
Really not.
Generally not?
They're very well run.
Oh, no, sir. You mean the last one when I was,
Are you on forestry?
oh, I would say they're like an hour and a half.
Yeah, usually.
So I mean, you really could, because if you have a 3-4 hour meeting, you know, if you got 4 1-hour meetings, but you can have 1 4-hour meeting, yeah, people are gonna be like, well, that's a long meeting, but you're cutting out all the other meetings, and yes, you're really looking for per diems or something.
Yeah, it seems you come in here 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're coming 1 time instead of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're saving per
Saving the
diem,
county.
And not only that, but
staff time.
4 different days that you gotta keep a time slot free.
Exactly.
Yep.
Drive here and
That's another thing we should change. Now would be the time to change it.
What's that?
Take the $55 away after 3.5 hours. Just take it to 45, be done.
No matter if it's 10 minutes or 6
10
hours.
minutes or 6 hours. Bump it up 5, take the 55 out of there. And then in some cases, if you have more than 2 or 3 meetings a day, maybe bump that 95 to 105 or something. But that happens so very rarely. I don't think it costs the county any more money at all. Then no one can say, well, we went 10 minutes over, so we get our extra $15. Really, I personally, who gives a fart?
or you could just keep it at 40 for everything.
I mean, we're all doing this for the money part. I mean, it would, finance might like it. I guess I never asked them, but they might like it being a lot easier to know what the. But I think that has to be addressed by the board before
Before
For the election.
the next election cycle.
Per diems are set by the board by resolution possibly, or it has to, if you're gonna change it.
Because then
You can't do it for your own term, because then you're voting on your own wage.
Right,
You
but
still might be voting on your wage, but you don't know at the time, so.
all this is kind of, we're trying to set it up for, all of this will be
next one.
effective
Yeah.
April.
Well, we're always gonna be, it's gotta be done, so it doesn't matter who's sitting in on this committee and does it for the next time, it needs to be addressed, so, whatever. They can say later on that we're all just to better ourselves, but I don't think that's the mindset here at all, so.
So does anybody have an opinion on my idea about asking the department heads how they feel like committee meetings could be more efficient?
I don't think it's a bad idea at all.
I think it's a good
You
idea.
collect that data.
Can I delegate?
Delegate that.
You need a motion on that?
Can I have a partner in that? Would that? Good. Can you ask the department heads?
On how they feel meetings could go streamlined? What is the, yeah, give me the exact question,
Be
like,
more efficient? Like board committee meetings? And if they have ideas of combining them or just in general, like we recognize that it's a big draw on staff time to always be in board meetings. You really don't have to type every word I'm saying. You can wait till we. Okay.
try to come up with something that we mutually agree on.
Okay.
And then when we send it out, I can copy you as the chair if you.
I mean, you could, yeah, but I trust your judgment.
Okay.
Yep.
So, right, that's the idea is we're interested, this committee is interested in feedback from the department heads on how to make any board meeting, committee meetings more efficient.
Do we dare ask them if they feel that they're on the right committee? That they're answering to the right committee?
Yeah.
Well, that's what, you kind of
yeah.
mentioned that, if there was any thoughts that they would think about combining it.
How to
or
combine.
How to consolidate or combine or,
Committees.
and that could go to,
If they have
it could go to all the county board members
Yeah,
too.
you
I
can
mean,
send it to,
department heads and county board
like,
members.
yeah, like, what do you think would be,
Yeah.
Make sure that everybody doesn't respond.
don't reply to all.
Yeah.
You send a separate one to the board members, ask them to send feedback to Mr. Kirk Orsinger.
Yeah.
I don't get enough emails, so yes.
So the board's gonna contact Kurt with their thoughts, and the department heads contact Ashley. Is that good, or
Whatever.
Is that okay?
is that
Yeah,
okay?
that's fine, because department heads can reply all. So even if you're on it, they can just, or reply back to you and I.
Either way, you guys are just gonna print them off and bring them to the next meeting or something
Yep.
anyway, so.
Only the ones they
I don't
want,
think it
only the
matters.
ones they want us to see.
I'll cycle.
Any secret?
I never saw that.
One email, we're gonna read it.
That was dumb.
They can be anonymous too if they want.
They could be if they felt comfortable printing it and,
Yeah.
leaving it.
Right.
In somebody's mailbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I mean, no judgment. It's a no judgment question. We're just curious at how to better maximize their time and their resources. And it's not.
We'll only judge the board member ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. And by when?
Well, when are we?
You want them the week before you're gonna meet back, so you get a chance to kind of look at them.
And, I was gonna mention too, on the stuff you were getting from Andy, if you email them,
I will.
the next week, if
I
you get
will.
it back, if
Gives you
if
guys
you send
time.
it to us, yeah. that
Oh,
would be
yeah,
no
so we can
problem.
actually read it before.
Well, and 'cause
Absolutely.
sometimes even if it's 3-4 days before, those might be 3-4 days where you're swamped with other stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll see how quick I can get it.
So we're kind of in agreement on where we want to go with the executive committee from members. But we don't know how we want to define the total structure on that committee until we kind of get the other committees established and what duties we want to. Am I fair to say that?
Yeah, and kind of get some other examples from other similar counties, and then not necessarily copy theirs, but use them to, to help us out.
We really don't know what duties we want to give it until we decide
Right.
what committees we're going, and
Yep.
what it can have, and then that can tell us what we can do with the committee structures in a sense, right?
Yep.
Am I getting that? Okay.
Do you want Andy at the next meeting too? Or do we just want to keep talking it? I feel like we're kind of wasting our time sometimes.
Sometimes,
until
yep.
we know what we're doing.
Although Andy is doing this for free, I believe, through the county association. So I mean, it's not like, at least it's not your
Yeah,
pay.
we're like, we're paying for him.
Yeah.
But he's,
At the same time,
the
I
idea
think
is
we
to-
have better discussion than he does.
Yeah.
I'd almost have him maybe that,
And sometimes it
Maybe
almost
the
seems like
same.
he's trying to steer what he likes, but forgetting that you gotta make it,
Yeah,
that's his intent, is to make it for the county, but then I think he feels like he has to lean towards, his personal, whatever he prefers.
preference.
Yeah.
I guess if we could get clear guidance from him as to what we're statutorily required and stuff, maybe we should hash it out one more time amongst ourselves before we bounce it off of him. Because otherwise, he's just gonna sit here and listen to us throw things on the table,
Right.
is my thought.
I don't have a problem with that.
And when we clarify the statutory stuff, statutorily, can we combine it with another meeting? We have to have a, zoning committee, but can we combine zoning with forestry type stuff?
Yeah.
As long as that's part of the title or part of the job or whatever.
I think a lot of it's gonna be hid in our ordinances as to what we can and cannot do.
Well, we can change those though. Or clean
right,
it up, right?
Right, but we'd have to,
Find all the,
there's gonna be some cases where we're not going to be able to change some of these things until we change the ordinance.
Change the ordinance, which could all be all,
part of the same package.
yeah, I mean, same meeting almost, you change the ordinance, and then right after that, you change the structure or whatever. I mean, it could be done.
Yeah, and I think it was Dave Willingham had brought up that if you pass a resolution, there's like certain wording in it that says like, this is the board's intent. So then it gives you like a cover to take the next couple months to catch the ordinances up. I think that was Dave.
Nice. So what happened to didn't we have a proposal about getting rid of the ad hoc interviewing committees? And then that got tabled indefinitely. I thought that was one of the, like this time last year, that was in the, right, changing the personnel handbook.
Yeah, how does that, so right now, it's one person from personnel.
One person
And
from.
they
the
just
oversight.
they cycle through the different personnel people.
No. And isn't it one person from the oversight committee? One person from personnel committee, the department head, HR.
That's it. It's HR or administrative coordinator. One can't be there, the other one is.
Okay.
We had that, so in case one was on vacation or whatever, was the mindset behind it, right, Ashley? Well, that was behind mindset behind it, so it could keep flowing.
And so that recommendation to not do it that way anymore, where did that come from?
And Ashley Goodis would be able to speak better to this, but we have actually within the last even like week or two, we are losing candidates because of the time it takes to schedule the interviews. Or for example, she finally gets in touch with you guys, the meeting date is set, and 2 out of the 5 candidates are like, I can't make that work. So I think that was where that came from.
It does
What
seem
was it before?
cumbersome as
When it
well.
was a
What
finance
was it
meeting,
before?
she didn't ask me, she just told me we were having a meeting.
That was intentional because of some personal things going on with that candidate. Some very personal.
Yeah, okay.
The reason her
I get
start
it.
date was delayed. Yeah.
I won't ask anymore on that.
But that was like a very unique.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if you did it,
Yeah.
probably,
So before it was
so right now it's,
the personnel committee,
Did all the interviews?
I think, before they had that committee. Wasn't it the personnel committee? And then
Changed that in like 2013, maybe. That was quite a while ago.
when I first got on, I think the personnel committee was doing them. Highway did theirs. And then it was, just needed a quorum to have the meeting.
It was a personnel committee and the department head. That's who I was interviewed by for forestry.
But Andy was in the first ones too, at first. And Andy took care of bringing the information in when Andy was here yet.
Because that was before HR, before Annie was
For
HR.
HR, before Ashley was here. So Andy Alvarado would come in and it'd be that committee and the department head, and Andy would be there. I don't remember though if we had to have the whole committee.
so the interviewing committee says shall consist of up to 5 members, but that's in the ordinances, but then if you go on under committees, it said shall consist of 4 members.
4 is up to 5.
Well, but up to 5, and then it states one from oversight, one from personnel. It doesn't say it has to be the chair.
It isn't.
No,
The department head has the opening, the administrative.
but the chair is the prerogative.
And/or human resources.
Yeah, because
So it says
sometimes,
up to 5, but then it states 4 positions.
well, because sometimes you have like 2 from, some of the ones I've been in, you have multiple, like you could have, okay, like, let's just use ADRC as an example. So you would, Ashley Nelson would be there, because that's part of Health and Human Services, and she's the department head, but she would have Kathy Walters there too.
But
because
she's not
the
a,
ADRC manager. So,
she's
and then
not
you,
actually a voting member, right? Because she's not a department head.
Correct.
right, but
So then
she,
she's still not part of the committee.
well, she,
Committee, she's there, she's not.
And the interviews I've been in, they elicit that person's
Yeah,
input because that's the direct supervisor.
Right. But it's not a 5-person committee, it's still a 4-person committee. I've been in interviews where we've had, you know, a couple members of the forestry committee, but it's still, as far as the committee's saying, it's not a 5-member committee because there's not 5 members that have voting power. It's a 4-member committee as it is right now. It just says up to 5 members. So I don't know why it says that. If it's not up to, it states only 4 positions that could be available.
So the website is wrong because it also lists the recording secretary as the department head, and that was changed to county clerk. So that needs to be updated.
There you go.
It takes time, sometimes all the resolutions are sent in, but it takes them time to get it in there. Have no,
County clerk or designee, but it was changed to only county clerk.
Well, I'm sorry, it does say designate, yes. County clerk or designee shall serve as recording secretary.
So that just seems like another place where maybe we could be more efficient, but, or not. If it's important to do hiring that way, that's kind of a different decision, but we have a lot of turnover in this county and there's a lot of
And I think that
interviews.
was the discussion is maybe you let department heads or something do, you know, your normal employees, but then still department heads.
Right, department heads are different, but,
Board members, because you're going to have to appoint them by the board anyways, or
right,
executive committee or something.
but for every
Yeah, that's a thought. Maybe just the average job that
highway
we're trying to
worker.
fill gets done by HR and
Department head.
department head.
I don't have a problem with that.
You could do one person from the committee. Maybe that'd be easier. I don't know. You know, then you got 3. You're not trying to wrangle in 5. You got HR, department head, and 1 person from a committee. Whoever can make it, boom, they're in. Here's the day we're doing it. Who can make it? Done.
So would it be the oversight committee or personnel?
Or you could, I guess, whatever.
or,
I would say the oversight committee.
They're more apt to know the specifics about the job that make a difference when you're interviewing.
I guess, yeah.
That's a double-edged sword because personnel knows more, as you've seen, the personnel setup structure of the county, where department head knows the duties that individuals, or at least it's probably been explained to them since they've been on the committee that you're asking them to perform. So yeah, but it'd be nice to streamline it. I'm with you.
Yeah, and if it's just I don't mean to say just but if it's, again, if we're trying to empower people and build trust and do we really need to be involved in who's hired as a highway worker or
So one time it was all
That's it.
personnel, and it was like nonstop. I want to say I was coming in for interviews anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week. I said, I can't do it no more. I said, don't call me. So I'm like, anybody else that wants to do it. So then the new structure was kind of brought up because it was kind of tolling on everyone that was involved in it. And so it was 1 person from personnel, you know, and it was 1, but in all honesty, it doesn't say it has to be a chair of any of those oversight committees that are involved in that. So maybe we need to give Ms. Goodis a little more leeway there that she can just call until she finds somebody that's available for the day that she's setting up interviews and done. I don't know if that
Start
would,
with the chairman. If the chairman can't make it, then
and she has the authority to go down the list until she finds one that's
Or maybe you can
available.
go on a rotating basis. First time, say this committee had some. First time it's Kurt. The next interview, call Kathy first and just put them at the
That
bottom.
might be too much to keep track of.
yeah, I think she does.
That's true
I
too.
think sometimes too, she uses discretion if it's like some positions are of a sensitive nature, you know, like I've done the WIC ones, you know, where you have someone you feel more comfortable talking in front of, but I don't know, is there a reason why we don't just empower the department head and the HR manager to, and is that what that was? Maybe we could just bring that back for the
That
next
is-
meeting
Yep.
to see what what the proposal was before that got tabled.
Actually, we just looked at it. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, and then remember, you made the chair the deciding factor if there was disagreement on the interview list.
That is.
We made the oversight.
Yeah, is,
Yeah, remember? We just-
yeah, I missed that meeting when we talked about it, and I think I abstained on the vote. because I didn't-
Yeah, but the only thing we changed, was making,
Well, now there's that
as
review.
a tiebreaker for,
the committee of,
here the oversight committee helps pick the interview. If there's a
Yeah.
discrepancy between HR, only if there's a discrepancy between HR and the department head, then
On who
that,
to interview.
on who to interview, that's the only thing we
Interview,
did, yeah.
Not how the interview
yeah.
actually happened.
Sorry, yeah. Ooh.
So, which is, like, we got this big, long list and it doesn't even include, like what we're talking about, ad hoc interviewing committees, which are, how many of those are there?
Probably the most popular committee we have right now.
Yeah, how many of those are there a month? 10?
Well, at least 6.
Construction,
Depends on the month.
this one, there's
Yeah, I mean, on average,
ad
how
hoc
many?
public trails.
Oh, yeah, and there's those, like, how many interviews do we do a month?
I would say a
Month?
minimum of half a dozen.
4 in October,
I was just going back to find the calendar, yeah.
4, 5, 6, 6 in September.
More than 1 week.
One, two and a half.
You could streamline it down, HR, department head, and 1 member from the oversight committee, done. Whether it be personnel or the actual oversight committee, doesn't matter to me. Because HR knows the policies anyhow, it's not like someone from personnel has to be on this committee.
Well, I said HR would be the one that would keep the questions within askable questions.
And then maybe in the absence of HR, someone from the personnel committee sits in. I don't know. It'd just be a backup plan, so you're not sitting there wondering, oh, HR's off for medical leave for 3 weeks, so we can't. I don't know.
Would you still do HR or administrative coordinator?
Do that as the
HR's
one, yeah.
Administrative coordinator too.
Duh. Do the same way. It leaves personnel right out of it, unless it's. I get a little leery though when I hear that there's managers in on some of these closed session meetings. I don't know. I think it should stick to department heads. If they don't know the department that they're hiring a person for, then how did the manager get underneath them? See where I'm going? I get a little leery when it comes to closed sessions. I haven't any more people in there than what need to be.
You're talking about for the interviewing committee?
Any interview, yeah, the current interview now. I get leery when
I don't know.
other managers come in, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but if you want to take the risk away, don't do it, is my motto. That's just my personal motto. The less that need to be involved are the less that should be involved. And when it comes to personal information, with it being put out in a closed session and discussed in closed session when you're hiring and et cetera.
I
We
guess-
don't, when we go to, I think it should be limited.
I see your point, and we can agree to disagree, but Health and Humans, just using them as an example, Health and Human Services is a big department. And there's a lot of differences, and so your department director can be new too. She can't know everything about what's going on in WIC and ADRC and all these various programs, she knows a lot and she's a manager of a lot, but that doesn't mean that she knows the specifics on disability
And we're probably
benefits.
fine there, obviously. I don't want it to get to where, so we have another department that maybe has foreman or whatever else.
Right, yeah.
And they're gonna assume that,
Right.
okay, it was good here, now I should also be.
Yeah,
in.
that makes sense. That makes sense. But I think in the departments where it's really a specialized thing, it's important to have the manager who knows what you need to succeed involved in picking out the person,
Yeah.
right? So in WIC, when you're picking a breastfeeding coach, I don't think that's necessarily appropriate for Jeremy to be the one who
Right.
is asking all the questions and knowing. You have to have Kayla or Amber in there to know whether or not the person really knows what they're talking about.
Yeah, I get your point.
So,
But I still get leery. The more,
I get you. I
the
get you.
less that can be in the room, I think that sometimes we need to keep that in mind, just
Right.
from a county liability standpoint.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah.
All right. This was good discussion.
I think we created more questions than we.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's been a long time since we've met.
It has.
Yeah.
Got to,
And I think we have ideas
Yeah.
on how to somewhat make things less cumbersome.
And as long as you're asking Andy questions, I mean, see if there's any poll out there or any, how other people, how other counties do their hiring, you know, I mean,
Did we say we were gonna send one out to the board members?
yes.
Just ask them any ideas on how to streamline committees or whatever you guys were thinking? It'd be great, but the other thing we gotta figure out how to do is how to get some of these things. Either we have to give the department heads more ability to make decisions. And where we draw that line, do we move that line up farther? See where I'm going with this? Or every little thing that, you're still from a committee standpoint gonna have to deal with every little thing that comes up
Right.
in that department, up to a certain dollar amount.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's a thing to have if it's under a certain amount, then,
That got moved up not that long ago, right? To what, 5?
$1,500. 1,500.
Didn't something get moved to 5,000? What am I thinking? Was it for an RFP? Maybe I'm thinking,
Oh, we changed like the quote number of quotes on the procurement policy.
okay,
That changed.
but it's 1,500 before they have to ask permission. I mean, let's be honest. For example, to your point, HHS is handling millions of dollars, sheriff's handling millions of dollars. I don't know if that, there's probably a lot of people that won't feel comfortable with that, but raising that, I don't know.
I think you,
Or is there another way to take some things off the agendas from that standpoint?
well, like the new budget reporting forms,
Oh,
can we report on those or hear about those only if there's a problem instead
we're
of
gonna work on that.
all of them? Like if you're off more than
yeah, there's stacks of them.
whatever percent?
Oh, be on finance.
I don't see the value in them, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't see.
I'm not kidding you. I told Ms. Heath one night, I got on my computer, this is no BS, and I started going through them because she was kind enough to start putting them in a separate file for us so that they weren't just in our packet, so we could look at them ahead of time. I know it was all of 3 hours
I
I
believe it.
had, and I did not make it through all of them.
well, I need,
So we're gonna redo, we're gonna
I
look,
think they're a great idea to catch things early.
it
but-
had to be something, but yeah, it was a good first step. It was an awesome
Right.
first step.
So we only report on the ones where it's off by a
Or
certain.
maybe have these same budget lines,
the
but
ones with concerns.
Yeah,
it is gonna come up with maybe just have it on one page. And maybe color coded if it's something that needs to be, you know, that type of scenario. Yellow if it's whatever.
Yeah, like-
We're gonna look at
green, yellow, red.
it. For someone like me that is all over the page like a squirrel, I need that thing that focuses me sometimes, so, yeah. But the big thing we were trying to do was
Catch things.
have the committees
Oh,
hopefully
understand.
catch it before it was always on finance to catch, because you can't, that's not a good, in my mind, that's not a good way to do it.
It needs to be addressed at the committee level. I agree with that.
Because we're gonna catch it, if we catch it. And when we're looking at, how many committees we say? 19, whatever? We're looking at 19 times as many things probably on average as everybody else is. There's a good chance something's gonna get missed at the finance level.
Well, and part of that is that the idea has always been the department heads, if there's an issue in the budget, they're supposed to bring it to their oversight. Well, they just weren't doing that. So now it's, if you're bringing something, yeah, it kind of forces the, well, you said there wasn't an issue. Well, you never asked.
Yeah.
You know, now you got.
It was
but if
awareness.
You just, yeah, the streamlining, it could be just the ones where there is issues.
I mean, I don't
And
want
a new issue. If you've already addressed this at this committee,
Yeah.
you know, every month you don't have to bring that same budget form back and say there's an issue with postage. So because
So here's
we
one.
addressed it, we looked at it.
So here's an example without saying who or what or where. And correct me if I'm wrong on finance. We've had these forms since when? May of this year. Not that long ago, we had to bring it to a committee's attention that they had a problem. And the committee was signing off on these forms, correct?
Yes, because they were not being accurately filled out. So it was not to the fault of the committee.
But they were very shocked. So, but I mean, so if we don't have some type of safety, and it wasn't, I'm not blaming anybody on the committee by any means, but if we don't have this there, how are we ever gonna, I mean, it still happens. And I hate to say it.
I think it's a great idea. It just could be tweaked
Yeah.
No, we want to tweak it.
to be,
We'll probably send out, we're gonna address it a little bit, I think, this Thursday, and then maybe we'll, I gotta see where Beatrice heads at. Got some ideas.
Yeah, I'm guessing she does, yeah.
We discussed it. But anyhow.
all right.
But yeah, hey, you got other ideas for finance, send them in. So,
So for the next agenda, so what we have, review employee and board suggestions. Maybe look at hiring methods. What else do we want on the agenda?
Executive committee,
Well, I guess, yeah, I mean, the
right? You have
executive committee makeup again, but like,
or the mission statement, like what their duties are.
yeah,
yeah, keep A and B on there in case we get lucky and actually hit a home run on one of them or something and say, hey, that's an awesome idea, we're gonna send that home.
yeah, yeah, so
Can
the,
I just put review and like the committee structure, something with the, so you can act on either way. So you can review it and make it possible, because
because
that's,
you got discussion of possible action on recommendation of county board, so it'd be still the creation of an executive committee structure, but then somewhere, like, before that, we could just review employee and board suggestions on how to consolidate, whatever. I guess you could just leave it at that, suggestions. And then maybe, like I said, hiring methods, discuss hiring methods.
My guess is we probably won't get a lot of feedback back, but who knows? Maybe just one thing will be the one we need.
You can say yes. So then when somebody questions how it comes out, we'll say, hey, we give it a chance to.
How much
Terry's gonna
feedback
fill it
did you
out.
get on the lighthouse.
All kinds of ideas.
How much feedback did you get on the lighthouse thing that went on?
I believe 0.
So you'll probably get about the same.
We got 0 back on the lighthouse, did we not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one more so affects the board members directly, so maybe they'll have opinions.
You have anything to chime in, Terry?
Well, I think you've had a good discussion tonight. The only thing when you're talking about the executive committee, and you were reading off some of what the other counties do, it sounded like you're going to have the executive committee meeting 60 hours a week because you're going to have them doing the finance, reviewing that, and I'm thinking, why are you even having a finance director? Why are you even having a treasurer? You're having them reviewing the insurance policy, you're having going through all this. You know, you've got to think about the time on the executive committee. And it sounded like from what you were reading on some of these things and their duties, that's going to be quite a long, lengthy thing. And what are you going to be taking away from the people you already hired that's supposedly doing all this stuff?
If you've read what the finance committee does anyways, they review the insurance stuff. It doesn't mean that they're going through the thing, but if the finance director comes with an insurance policy, they're the oversight that would go through.
Right, but some of what Kurt was reading, it sounded a little bit more than that. It sounded like, these executive committee would be meeting quite often and a long time and doing all of these things, which sounded like it was taking away from some of the, not necessarily department heads, but some of the people that we have now doing stuff.
Like Phil had just said, I mean, right now, Russ County's Finance Committee mission statement or purpose, the Finance Committee's primary responsibility is to supervise all financial matters of the county and control expenditures so they fall within the authorized budget's limitations. Roles and responsibilities of the committee: oversee all insurance and bond coverage within the county government, excluding health insurance and workers' comp, approve or reject any and all vouchers as submitted, review the annual budget prior to presentation of the county board. Some of these exact wordings were in the mission statement for an executive committee.
Just never read.
Monitor reports provided by the county administrative coordinator and finance director regarding monthly budget compliance. Access committee of jurisdiction for the county administrator, county clerk, county treasurer. Review and recommends budgets for the following: contingency fund, finance, debt service, insurance, central services, equipment and capital projects. Access responsible committee for investments of county monies pursuant to Wisconsin statutes. Some of them were word for word right out of the other,
And there's more.
There's more. I
You're
quit.
only halfway through.
I'm only halfway through.
Gatsby,
It
contingency.
sounded like you're turning that over to the executive committee, so what?
So, and that could be, so maybe the finance committee can get,
I'm just saying,
Yep.
I think it was a good.
Finance
discussion.
committee now probably average what, Terry? 3.5 to 4 hours long now? So if you had anything more to it, you'd probably be lucky to get anybody to be on the finance committee unless the meetings are on Saturdays for me.
and who wants to take this Saturday?
I'm just saying, it sounded like some of the stuff that, the finance committee is doing, you're putting on the executive committee. And I think, again, I think this discussion is very good, but I think it's got to be defined better and exactly what is the executive committee doing? Are they taking stuff away from the other committee, well, from say finance or property or that? And are they doing it? Or are they just like a top level thing that meet for 2 hours a month and just look at everything's hunky-dory? I mean, I think you gotta kind of define that better and what the duties are and how it relates to like what you just read off with the finance committee.
And I agree with that. That's why we need to,
We definitely don't want to be redundant.
no, and
That's
that's,
the last thing we want to accomplish
But
here.
there will be some consolidating of committees, and for people that like a lot of committee meetings, they might not like that, but.
You know what we can do with the
it
executive
is-
committee? Send all out-of-county travel requests there.
someone else can definitely be on the executive committee.
I got Terry to almost smile. Did you see that? He almost smiled at me. He's not gonna
It's
do it.
a smart,
not
not
gonna
a
do it.
smile.
Okay, so I think we have enough for another meeting for sure. Hopefully that'd be December.
You
like all we did
open the
was go
can
down.
now, buddy.
I think all we did was go down 4 rabbit trails. Now we got 4 rabbit trails to start
Yeah.
on.
So it's either we're gonna say we're committed and we're gonna follow this through, or are we throwing the towel at the next one?
No, I think we're gonna try to keep following through with it.
I think we should.
What did you say?
January.
Can we wait till January or? Okay,
Well, I will,
December 25th.
yeah.
well, I was just thinking the 15th, which would be a month, like the same as highway committee, then for Jim would be the same day as the highway committee again, would be like the 15th, but
I'll be in town, but you guys can meet with
Well, no, I-
That's fine.
you're very contributing to this committee, so.
Actually, if I recall, Mr. Chair, I like it better when it's not the same.
Okay, not the same, so that's,
And I could do.
But I'm gone the week before, so.
too.
What'd you say, Kathy?
I said I could do the 22nd, but you probably don't want to, or we could do the 5th,
I can't do it.
December or January?
January.
We have a finance meeting the morning of the 5th. And I'm leaving then that day anyhow.
You said
To
January.
open.
Said
January.
January.
January 5th, sorry. Wrong month. The 22nd's fine with me too, whatever you guys want to do, of December or.
22nd is the fourth Monday, so that won't work for me.
That's not good for me.
So I guess we're on the 5th, which would be the first Monday of January.
4:30 again?
Yes.
Should I do it first? Too soon? December 1st?
The problem with the first is,
Thought about that, but
thing is, like, in the business world, is you're closing end of month, you're closing end of year, you got all kinds of like,
and that's okay, because it wouldn't be time to get all the responses in, I don't think, from the county board members or the department heads by then. It just would be too fast of a turnaround. And December is kind of a busy month, obviously, with people got vacations and what have you. So I think the 5th would work. We'll just plan on the 5th. Is that at 4:30?
Okay.
Is everybody good with that time?
Put down already, it's in there.
there's no change in it, she scheduled it.
It's locked in
Just get
stone.
it. Stone.
Locked it in.
Okay. That work for you, Sue? Yep.
Ski season though.
Yeah, but it's not the holiday season.
I suppose, yeah. 42nd probably would not be
Well,
good.
long time, because schools are out early, so we've got 2 weeks every day. 12 hours a day.
Oh, wow. Need some snow.
We'll get that.
Supposed to,
We just need cold weather
yeah.
to make it.
I don't know the ski resort, so the cold and snow can both stay away. As far as I'm concerned, but
I won't be here.
all snowed up costs money.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that's why we live up here.
Yeah. We're good then?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second
You're
that.
in order than that.
We're good, yep, that's what I was looking for.
Ready. Thanks for coming, Terry.
I expect a big, long list of suggestions.
What's everyone looking at me?